You're still young, or have you already started to fade away? You wake up in the morning, head to the bathroom, look in the mirror. A few wrinkles, yeah. Slightly puffy eyelids. Your knee aches, but overall it's the usual. Feels like life's moving along as normal. But what if that's just an illusion? What if you're slowly losing control over your body and mind, inch by inch, drop by drop, without even realizing it? The thing about aging is, it doesn't knock. It doesn't warn you. It slips in quietly, invisibly. And one day, you realize that you're no longer running your life. It's carrying you, like a fallen leaf in a stream. Is it too late? No, but it only gets harder from here, especially if you don't know where to spot the first red flags. Sign number 1. It's getting harder for you to get up from a chair. Slowly, with effort, using your knees or the armrests for support. You tell yourself, my legs just got stiff, or I probably sat too long. But in truth, your deep stabilizing muscles, the ones responsible for balance and coordination, are weakening. These muscles are your last line of defense against falling, and once that line breaks, you fall. Today, you're using the wall for support. Tomorrow, you might not get up at all. You know what's really terrifying? People don't die of old age. They die from the consequences of falling. A broken hip in old age is a ticket to the hospital, and from there, either a nursing home or, well, you know. Do you want your kids to become your caregivers? Do you want nurses lifting you off the floor, not even knowing your name? No? Then listen up. Every day without physical activity is a step backward. Leg and core strength exercises aren't fitness. They're your key to staying independent. Sign number 2. You've started forgetting why you walked into a room. Everybody does it, right? Everybody forgets things. You're not worried. You joke about it, but only until it becomes a pattern. When you find yourself constantly forgetting where you left your keys, when you ask the same question over and over, when you read a page and can't recall what it was about. This isn't just aging. This is cognitive decline, and sadly, it won't stop on its own. In a few years, you might forget how to turn on the stove. Then, the names of your grandkids. We're not telling you this to scare you. We're telling you because we've seen it happen, thousands of times. When George from Arizona first started getting confused with addresses, he brushed it off. A year later, his wife was holding his hand, explaining how to use a fork. He used to be an engineer. He became a shadow. But here's the good news. Your brain can be trained. Memory games, mental math, reading, learning a new language. These aren't just for college kids. They're your armor against mental decay. Sign number 3. Your walk has changed. You're more cautious, moving slower, stepping more carefully. You think you're just trying not to trip. But actually, it means your nervous system isn't sending signals to your body like it used to. It means your coordination is off. You've become vulnerable. And you don't even notice. That's how it started for Fred, 61, from Houston. He used to walk his dog for 2 hours every day. Then he began skipping stairs, got scared, stopped going out, stopped driving. Within a year, his world shrank to 3 rooms. His wife died, and he didn't even go to her funeral. He was too afraid to fall. Your gait is a mirror of your brain. When it changes, it means your brain is already retreating. And if you ignore that, you're stripping yourself of the most essential thing, movement. And that means freedom. So now I'll ask you directly, are you really ready to quietly disappear from your loved ones' lives, with pain, regret, and silence? Or do you want to hold on to what's left? Regain your strength, your control, your memory, your dignity. There's still time, but don't fool yourself. there's less than you think. In Part 2, you'll learn about the signs most people think are normal. But they're the silent switches that slowly shut you down, especially sign number 4, which shows up in your body, but starts with your breathing. And yes, it might already be happening to you. You might be sitting on the couch right now thinking, sure, I don't run like I did at 20, but I'm still managing. But managing doesn't mean living fully. The problem isn't that you've aged. The problem is that you've allowed aging to become your new normal. You don't notice how your body loses resources every week, how your muscles shrink, your lungs weaken, your mind slows just a little bit more. It doesn't all happen in one day, but it adds up. And every day you do nothing. You're erasing yourself from your own life. Sign number 4. You've started speaking more quietly. You think, I'm just tired, my voice is shot. But no, this is a weakening of your respiratory muscles, your vocal cords, and your lung function. You're not just speaking more quietly, you're breathing less. And that means less oxygen to your brain, heart, and muscles. Your body is literally running on low power. That's how it started for Allison, 72. A strong-willed teacher. But one day she noticed students asking her to repeat herself. Her voice would fade after a few minutes. She couldn't sing at church anymore. She ignored it. Then came the shortness of breath. Then the hospital. When her family found out, it was too late. She died in that hospital room, in the silence she had once faded into. Don't want to end up like Allison? Start today. Read out loud for 10 minutes a day. Sing. Work on your breathing. It's not just voice training. It's fighting for control of your lungs, and that means fighting for your right to breathe fully, to live. Sign number 5. You've lost your sense of hunger. You're not eating, and you don't even want to. You think, less food, fewer problems. But in reality, this is the start of metabolic breakdown. When your brain stops sending hunger signals, it means your energy regulation centers are shutting down. Your body stops asking for fuel and starts consuming itself. First, muscles. Then, immunity. Then, even your heart. Losing weight? That's not healthy. That could be muscle wasting, and that's critical. Because when any virus, fall, or stress hits, you won't have reserves to survive. Who's going to take care of you then? The neighbors? Your kids? Living hundreds of miles away? Don't fool yourself. If you don't start eating mindfully and rebuilding muscle, no one's going to do it for you. Sign number 6. You don't cry anymore. Don't laugh either. You've become calmer? Or have you just stopped feeling? Emotions aren't weakness. They're brain activity. When you stop laughing, stop crying, stop caring, it means your brain has started shutting down non-essential functions. You didn't become wiser. You became duller. This is emotional burnout, the first step toward apathy and neurological decline. That's how it started with Tom, 68. He stopped watching his favorite movies, stopped calling his friends. Just tired, he said. 8 months later, he was diagnosed with major depression and cognitive decline. He no longer recognized his own granddaughter. Want to know how to save yourself? Start an emotion journal. Write down how you felt each day. Watch movies that make you laugh and cry. Talk to real people, not just your TV. Stay emotionally alive, or you're already starting to disappear. And here's what matters. This isn't the end. You can change everything, but only if you make a choice. Today, right now. We're not done yet. Because up next is the most deceptive, quietly devastating sign of all, sign number 7. It brings no pain, no symptoms, but it leads to tragedy, and it might already be underway. Many people think aging is all about appearance. Wrinkles, gray hair, sagging skin. But the truth is, aging starts much deeper. It begins when you start losing what makes you human. Reaction, speed, willpower, initiative. At first, it's barely noticeable. You just take a bit longer to think. You're a little slower to speak up. You fall silent a little more often. But then, you lose respect. First from coworkers, then from your family, and finally, and this is the hardest part, from yourself. Sign number 7. You've become too slow to make decisions. You call it being thoughtful, more deliberate, not rushing. But in reality, it's a slowdown of your brain's frontal cortex. The connection between thought and action weakens. You lose speed, you lose control, you don't respond, you lag behind. And in old age, falling behind can be dangerous. This isn't about philosophy, it's about practical life. You stand at an intersection and can't decide fast enough whether to cross. You're holding a knife in the kitchen and can't react when it slips. You trip on the stairs and don't catch yourself in time. That's what happened to Mary, 69. She was lost in thought while walking upstairs, took one step, and fell. Traumatic brain injury, paralysis. She wasn't found for 2 days. Neighbors got worried when she didn't come out for her newspaper. She was fully conscious, but she couldn't speak, couldn't call for help, all because of one delayed decision. You know what's terrifying? The brain doesn't hurt. It doesn't warn you. It just quietly shuts down. And if you don't train your thinking speed, it will keep doing it silently, every single day. Sign number 8, the one that shocks. You don't smell like yourself anymore. No, this isn't a metaphor. It's one of the most alarming and least known signs of accelerated aging. As we age, our metabolism slows down. But when your body odor disappears almost completely, it means hormonal activity is near zero. Your sweat glands are underactive. Metabolism is fading. Your body has entered energy-saving mode, which, biologically speaking, is preparation for shutting down. Sounds eerie? Yes, because it's real. Elderly patients who are bedridden often have no body odor at all. Their bodies stop sending signals. It's like they're preparing to become invisible. And this can begin sooner than you think. Ever noticed you don't smell your own skin anymore? Or that your clothes don't carry a scent after a hot day? You think you've just become cleaner? No, you've become less metabolically active. But this can be stopped. What to do? Make a habit of tracking your reaction time. Use a timer. Give yourself small tasks. Do mental math, solve riddles, time how long it takes you to do simple things. Read out loud. Yes, it's hard, but it activates parts of your brain responsible for speech, breathing, and reaction. Play fast games. Chess, puzzles, online quizzes. Train your brain like a muscle. And most importantly, don't lock yourself in silence. Silence is emptiness. It's the absence of external stimuli. It's where the brain begins to fade. Noise is life. Conversation is life. Reaction is life. As long as you train your brain, it stays with you. But if you let it go, it'll leave without warning, and you won't even realize you're no longer in charge of your life. And next comes the final blow, a sign that isn't about the body. It's quieter than pain, colder than loneliness, but it's the one that shuts you off from life entirely, even before the end comes. We'll talk about that in part 4. Aging doesn't begin in the body, and it's not in the number of candles on your birthday cake. It begins the moment you stop being part of the world. When your voice fades into the background. When you stop asking questions. Stop debating. Stop exploring. When you quietly step aside and no one notices. This isn't about disease. This isn't about pain. It's about the slow fading of your will to live, that quiet surrender you make in your mind, long before your body gives out. Sign number 8. You stopped being interesting to yourself. You stopped being curious, stopped arguing, stopped reading the things that used to excite you. You tell yourself, I've seen it all. I've had enough. But that's not wisdom. That's giving up. The brain is like fire. It doesn't die when oxygen runs out. It dies when you stop adding fuel. You've become someone who just runs on autopilot. Same breakfast, same news, same route, same evenings, same silence. You're not living. You're maintaining biological function. And here's what happens next. People stop inviting you out. They stop discussing the future with you. You become the one who's not interested. The one who doesn't do anything. The one who's just there. That's how it ended for Richard, 74. He was a history professor, one of the brightest minds at his college. And then he stopped teaching, stopped reading, stopped debating. At first it was just tired. Then, what's the point in starting anything new? 2 years later, he said the same sentence to each grandchild. I've already lived my life. And that was it. The end. He faded. Even though he still walked, still breathed, still lived, on paper, but not in spirit. But here's what you need to understand. As long as you're interesting to yourself, you're alive. Not to others, not to your kids, not to your grandkids, to yourself. Want to reverse this? Start small. Read an article you disagree with. Learn something that scares you. Talk about a topic that stirs up emotion. Try drawing, even if it's bad. Bad is fine. Empty is not. Let yourself be alive. And one more thing. Stop being convenient. Stop staying quiet just to avoid upsetting others. Get your voice back. Get your edge back. Get your fire back. Worried about sounding foolish? Too old? Ridiculous? Then know this. The fear of looking alive is death. You've seen these 8 signs. You've learned how aging quietly erases you from the surface of life. But you've also learned what to do about it. Now there's only one question left. Are you just a date of birth on a document? Elderly, harmless, unnoticed? Or are you someone who refuses to disappear without a fight? Someone who will live until there's no breath, no words, no sound left but one. I lived, I burned.